YouTubers, welcome back to AZ to Ozarks. Well, last night we had quite the storm come through here, and we never got a tornado warning here. However, a tornado did touch down about 150 miles from here. We just got crazy rain and lots of wind. Well, my husband and I were checking something out in the basement. Well, actually checking for leaks because of the amount of water that was coming down, and it was actually coming up to the window level of the basement right here. So the water was just below the window level. We were checking for flooding and we heard a loud crash. We came out here and this trampoline was flipped up on top of the deck halfway, and the truck was parked right here, and it was also leaning on the hood of the truck. So it was really pouring. So my husband and our 14-year-old came out here to get the trampoline off of everything because it was still windy and the storm was not ending anytime soon. So we got it off in the rain and we moved the truck over here because the wind was coming from this direction. We took down the net where it was still attached so it wouldn't be quite the sail. Obviously, we need to secure this down. I don't think it damaged the truck. That's okay. But this morning I came out and immediately noticed the end of the greenhouse. So you can see it's flush right here. We had it tied off at an angle on a T-post out here, and we always had big tires on it holding down the end. So like the other side, you can see it got pushed inside the greenhouse. And of course the whole greenhouse was closed because of the wind, or the rain had weighted down. So I came over here to check out what was going on, and I was so sad and disappointed. We had sandbags on it, and of course you may recall from my garden tour video, I had bags and cardboard out here trying to keep weed suppression down. But look at this. I moved this tire out. It was all the way in there. So this is just pushed completely in, and this is where my tomatillos were, and it uprooted them and tore them in there. I'm hoping the watermelon's okay. I've got to figure, we're probably just going to do what we should have done a long time ago and cut off the end of the greenhouse, and we have everything to frame it in and put a door on it. It's just one of those things that we've had a ton of other things to do in the meantime. So obviously it has just become a huge priority. I think the tomatoes were mostly okay. There were a few that had been knocked off. The plants look okay otherwise, but it's over here that we have the problem. So there's a T-post wrapped up in here that was holding the end. This is very heavy plastic, and you can see my tomatillos. They were all just uprooted and thrown. I don't know that I can salvage them and put them back in the ground. I will try, but they've been uprooted and they just, they're sad and a mess. I think our watermelon is okay, but it's all squished and covered here. So we've got to address this, but that's not the only issue. The wind blew down my corn. I have something like 500 or 600 plants of corn out here, and most of them are blown over. Some of them are broken and snapped. Like I can see this guy here. And they were already in ears, a lot of them, but they're not yet ready to harvest. This is too small for harvesting. I'm going to come through here and try and stand them all up and mound dirt around them and hope for the best. We really needed the rain. I'm so grateful for the rain for the garden, and it comes down all at once, a lot. And it would kind of be nice if it would just be more of a steady, calm rain that lasted longer. And the wind, though, we definitely, you know, this is a place where there are tornadoes, and we knew that. We also knew that it could be a risk with the corn in the garden. And I guess all you do is hope for the best and also try to minimize the issues. So both sides of this greenhouse, so you can see the tires got knocked off over here. But this is how we had it, with a T-post, and it wrapped around the end and like this. So both sides we're going to cut off the plastic, and frankly we don't need it until the winter. We don't need it to be enclosed because it's been plenty warm. There's no freezing temperatures or anything. So looks like today's a day of repair in the garden, and when the soil's wet I can do some more weeding, so that's good news. There aren't too many branches that have been knocked down. Oh, these are just little twigs from the tree. No big deal there. So ultimately I think we're going to be okay. I'm hoping the corn's fine. For the most part, it should be. I've had it blow over in Arizona before, and I've been able to stand it back up. Better get started. Now I can get a better view to assess the actual damage now that I've cut off the end here. What's that? Oh, in addition to a great habitat for snakes, I've also made a great habitat for turtles. Look at that little guy hanging out there. I'll probably just leave him be. Okay, so this tomatillo at the end here was already doing really poorly. And it looks like that's the only one that wasn't ripped out. All of these guys along here were ripped out by their roots when that plastic pushed in here. And they're looking pretty sad. I think I'm just going to pull off the fruits that are the bigger sizes and maybe plant something different here. Oh, all the way back to here. See these guys? Right up to the tomatoes. These are tomatoes here, and they're not uprooted, so that's good news. And let's check out the watermelons. It looks like they might have just been a little bit squished. The melon fruit's fine. And over here, a couple ends might have been broken, but I think we'll be okay. Then the next order of business is the corn. a few of the corn plants were broken off entirely, and like this one here didn't even have ears forming, so that's just gonna get removed out of there. This one had an ear. Let's open it up and see how mature it is. It looks really thin.
That's good. Has some corn.
Yeah, it's just starting to form kernels there. They're not really big, but we can see if we can do anything with that. And then this one here, the whole stalk's knocked off. Let's look at this corn. Oh yeah, this one's got some kernels on it. So we'll eat these that have broken off and have somewhat developed kernels on them. Well, I have the corn stood up as well as I can with the soil that I have. So this was all composted manure on top, and so it's very soft. It doesn't compact very well. So all I can hope is that this gives it enough time to finish maturing, and then we can harvest the corn and learn and maybe try a new method next year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to keep following our adventure.